Hi, everyone. I want to thank you all for being here. Seriously, for those, I think everyone here knows my name. I'm Chanan Volk, and it's a real source to be able to have this opportunity. First and foremost, my mom right now, she's still recovering from an eye surgery that happened months ago, so this shiur is dedicated to her healing. Chana ben Rachel. That's the first thing. The second thing I want to say is I want to express a sincere and really deep hakaras hatov to Max Liebrach and JLIC for all the amazing work that they do, for putting together a great community of Olim, yeshiva bachers, and people that are always looking for a nice social life outside of yeshiva. I think it's really incredible what they do, and it's a huge inspiration to me. I literally, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know Max, first time I met him, I was told he's the nicest guy in the world. And I, at first, oh yeah, I've heard that expression before. And then I met him, and I realized he might actually be the nicest guy in the world. And I thought it must be fake. Like, there must be something fake about this. There's no physical, humanly possible way for anyone to be this nice. And it turns out he actually is indeed that nice, and there's a lot to learn from his midot, so he really, truly is a bal midot. So I just have to say that. Some of you expressed that there is a curfew, that you guys have bedtimes, and I respect that, so I'll just save you guys a lot of time. There is no free will. Thank you so much. Have a good night. So. Yeah. Shockers at 6:15, bright and early.
Thank you.
So, in regards to this topic of free will, I think a lot of people here, I think we're all balei teshuva, right? Most of us are, right? A lot of us, different varying levels of balei teshuva-ness, right? And for those who have been exposed to the secular world, the topic of free will came up. In fact, before even I explored my Jewish journey, I was very interested in the topic of free will because I found it fascinating, the possibility that I might not be free. It had nothing to do with Passover. It had to do with this idea that, what is our purpose in life? What is this deeper idea? And so it turns out, it's actually very easy to conclude that there is no free will in the secular world. In fact, American Science Journal did a study with their, they got around 4,000 subscribers to answer one of those surveys that many people, when they get called up on the phone, they say, do you have 10 minutes to answer a survey? They got 4,000 people to answer this particular survey. And they found a staggering 40% of people out there in the world, at least in their user base, do not believe that there is free will. I'll tell you why I didn't believe in free will. There was actually a period where I was very comfortable with the idea, the fact that there was no such thing as free will. And this is why. It's because at the end of the day, if I do something totally unprecedented, like, Did I get anyone? No, I didn't get anyone? So I was trying really hard. I was trying to scare somebody. Well, I can make people laugh at least. If I do something totally unprecedented, you're going to react, which then means if you're going to react, that means you're doing an action, which then causes another action, which then causes another action externally, which then causes another action. So it's very easy to see that there is actually just a constant chain reaction, a constant butterfly effect happening. So if this is causing this, and this is causing this, and this is causing this, then it's very easy to conclude, well then everything I've done up to this point was predestined. It was just not even predestined. It's a natural flow of things. A natural flow doesn't mean I'm free. It doesn't mean I have made a choice. It just means that that's reality. And so then I was like, okay, well then we must all be cogs in the machine. If one cog is turning, then all the cogs are turning, right? It's very easy to conclude this idea. What happened though was suddenly I went on an Israel trip and I got bit by the Torah bug, and I went to this little place, not really mainstream, called Eshet Torah. And when I went to Eshet Torah, suddenly that whole entire idea of free will changed. Like, this whole entire idea, this whole entire concept just blew my mind. But what will naturally happen is on this journey of learning about your purpose as one of the members of the chosen people, is you learn, okay, great, you have free will. Shkoyach, cool. But then you come across a different concept called hashgacha pratis, divine providence, the idea that there's some kind of intervention in your life that is completely external to this world and also completely a part of this world. Because Judaism believes in what's called panentheism, the idea that God is both within and outside of time. So if there's this entity that we call God that is both in and outside of time, that actually has a hand in our lives And we call this, the Almighty. We call him Rabbono Shel Olam, right? We acknowledge that he is all powerful and present, right? Well, then that's completely contradictory to the idea of free will. So a lot of people at Aish have heard shiurim on free will, and in general, the concept of free will has come up a lot. What I don't see happening a lot is the topic of the fact that hashgacha pratis is completely counterintuitive to the idea of bechira. So actually, right now everyone's sitting in a very nice spread way, but I just want to do a survey, and this will actually require everyone to stand up and change seats. Everyone get up for 1 second. Go ahead. So this side of the room, you believe in bechira. You believe that there's such a thing as free will. On this side of the room, you don't believe in free will, okay? And in doing so, sit wherever relative. If you see it as a range, you can sit somewhere in the middle if you believe in a more moderate stance. You can sit in the far left if you believe there is free will. You can sit in the far right if you believe there isn't free will and there's just hashgacha pratis. Go ahead and sit where you believe you're holding.
You mean no free will, all the way free will?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. This is good. I wasn't sure how this experiment was going to go, and this is actually really encouraging. Okay, so survey says, so I don't have the best mustache for that. So this is really cool. So we have some extreme free willers over here. We have one brave soul who says he believes fully in hashgacha pratis, and that free will is not so much a part of his life. And we have a lot of moderates here in the middle. Okay? Well done. Go like a vote. So what does this mean? We're about to find out. So what I'm now going to do is actually distribute a bunch of different packets. The source sheets that I've created, they are organized into two halves. The first part is proving that it does exist, that free will does exist. And the second half of the packets prove that it doesn't exist, that everything's based on hashgacha pratis. So that being said, if you are on the free will side, you are chayiv to read from the it doesn't exist part. So you're starting on page 4. And if you are believing in no free will, then you're chayiv to start on it does exist, on all the supporting evidence that does exist, and you're going to now read all the way up until page 4. And so for the moderates, you guys can excuse yourselves, you guys can go home, it's too complicated for, just kidding. What you're going to do, I'm going to have you guys chavrusa, and I'll actually leave it up to you guys where exactly you want to read from the it does exist side or it doesn't support it exist side. I think just to make things easy for everyone just sitting on a bench, you guys can chavrusa, Emmanuel and Ethan, you guys can chavrusa. We'll have you two, or you three do a chavur. Yeah. Okay.
I want to say before everyone breaks off, first of all, thank you so much to Chanan for all the work behind the scenes putting this chavur together. You guys have no idea, he's a superstar. Also, I want to say thank you all so much for coming, and I totally understand and I'm so mindful and respectful of your time. Anyone who wants to stay and is not on such a review, we're going to have a mishmar of really homemade fun